Good evening, I'm back. I'm your host, Jack Remington, the Jack Remington Political Analyst channel. We had a mixed bag last week. 9 wins and 7 losses, but I just didn't put the 9 wins on the cards for my entries. Entry number 1, 1 win, 4 losses. Entry number 2, 2 wins, 3 losses. Was saved by the Jets. I only got to watch half of one game. We made it home just in time to watch the middle of the third quarter and the fourth quarter of the Kansas City Chiefs, Taylor Swift, and the Jets. I was going to do the 2 videos splitting up the entry 1, entry 2, but for the time being, until I get back in the swing of things the way I'm supposed to, I'll make one quick video, and I'm going to do my picks first, and then I'll go into entry 1, entry 2, and any other commentary. But I got to have shorter videos because I'm getting complaints. The guys don't want to watch long videos because I guess I'm still a nobody, which is fine. Tonight's game, it's Washington Commanders hosting the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears are getting 6.5. We're going to take Chicago at 6.5. I'm just hoping for a close game. Looking for a backdoor cover. I think Washington got some problems now because the head coach, throws him under the bus. Riverboat Ron Rivera, who was known for taking chances, and it was okay with it because he was largely successful. But that's when he had Cam Newton at his peak. Riverboat Ron, he goes, well, I'm not going to go for 2 at the end of the game here because we'll just play for 1, tie the game up, and you made a bad mistake, Ron. You're not equal to the Philadelphia Eagles. They got a far better team, and you know it. That was your chance to steal a win, and you didn't do it. So somebody on pregame.com put some new name from River Barge, Big Mouth Ron, all talk, no action Ron. So, but we're going to take the Chicago Bears here. Washington's not going to play hard and leave it open for a backdoor cover. They're going to let off the gas, and it demoralized the team. And you can't have that in the NFL. I mean, they're rich young men, but they still got some pride. The United Kingdom game, it's Buffalo Bills who are going to play the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are getting 5.5 points. We're going to take the Jacksonville Jags at 5.5 points. I know they're my poison team. I can never bet on them and win and bet against them. They beat me. I'm going to try them one more time. I'm going to bet on them. Buffalo and Jacksonville have a history of playing tight. A few years ago, the game situation with Buffalo was 10 wins and 1 loss. They were just steamrolling. They needed one more win to lock up a wild card, and then we're just going to fight for the seeding after that. It was clearly they were going to win the AFC East. The other 3 teams were struggling. And here comes Jacksonville, who'd won a couple games all year long. They were 2-9 or something like that. But they were playing at home, and they were 14.5-point underdogs to this mighty Buffalo Bills. And I thought it would be a little wise ass, and I'm in Vegas. Here's $1,000. I don't want to risk $1,000. I looked at the counter. The buyback will give you 13, 15. So it was a minus 445 for the 100 to take the favorite Buffalo Bills. And guess what? Jacksonville beat them 9-6, kicking field goal. I was just stunned. But it happens. Jacksonville has history. They know they need to start stringing some wins together. Maybe they got the funk out of their system. And Buffalo's got their exhale. They dispatched the mighty Dolphins I anointed as the champions last week, who had hung a 70-burger on the Broncos the week before. But now Miami got their comeuppance. And I did a little research just really quick. Teams have scored 60 or more points the last 5 games. They've lost 4 and won 1 since. And the one they won they didn't cover. Game number 3. We're taking Houston Texans. All of a sudden they're the Super Bowl champions now. I mean, they were 0-2, looking terrible. And then they come out with a win. Okay, yeah, but Tunstall, the all-pro lineman's out, and this one's out, and the running back is out, and the cornerback is out, and Houston Texans is second in the NFL for starters out, second behind the Baltimore Ravens. And all of a sudden, now they upset my Steelers from last week, and now all of a sudden, C.J. Stroud is MVP, and not only is he Rookie of the Year, he's going to win it all, and Houston's going to make the play. They're going to win that division. Blah blah blah. Hey man, it's just 2 games, okay? And they snuck up on people to do it. Now the Falcons are coming off 2 horrific losses. They look terrible from what I've been reading about and hearing about. But they're a running team. If that Arthur Smith, the coach, gets his brain back on and says, hey, what got us to our first 2 wins? We stuck up on some people. It was our running game. Let's get that back. If he does that, this game's over. We're taking the Atlanta Falcons -2, but I think Houston's going to come back down to the real planet and go back to being the Houston Texans. Game number 4. It's the Carolina Panthers at the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions are favored by 9.5. And we're going to take Detroit. We're going to lay the chalk because number 1, they're the better team. Number 2, Carolina's offense is kind of bad. They're having a hard time scoring points. Detroit's easy scoring the points. Jared Goff's having a great season. They're in front of the home crowd. They got snuck up on by Seattle a couple weeks ago, their first home game. So then they played well last home game. They dispatched Green Bay on Thursday Night Football the other week. I got that one wrong too. I think this is the spot. I think Detroit's going to do it. I mean, you can't take Carolina in the 9.5 because they can't score points. But this is also, I see everybody on the Survivor Pool, everybody's taking Detroit. This is the game this is the kind of game that I would not put them on the Survivor Pool, because this is the game that beats everybody for Survivor Pool. They've been doing Survivor Pool for a long time. We're taking Detroit. Game number 5 is the Tennessee Titans. They're at the Indianapolis Colts. It's the Tennessee -1, so the Colts are a point home dog. I bet against the Colts last week, and I got lucky. Got the Rams. The Rams missed a chip shot field goal with 2 seconds left in the first half. That would have put them up 26-0. Game would have been out of reach. But no, they missed that field goal. And I told my wife, I said, "You watch, you're going to need that field goal." Sure enough, here comes the Colts. They look like Super Bowl champions and unbeaten. And they look like the world beaters of all time. And Sean McVay pacing on the sideline, trying not to act panicked. And they got the game in the overtime. And I knew Matthew Stafford would come through. I got Matthew Stafford as one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. They let their foot off the gas as usual in the NFL. They put a couple second stringers in to give their starters a breather. Sean McVay's really good at that. But this week, Tennessee, I got lucky with Tennessee last week. Vrabel's coaching for his life. But this week, everybody keeps saying, "Well, I think Tennessee's too slow and they're going to stop Derrick Henry." And that may well be true. It's a division rivalry. But Tennessee needs to win. The Colts need to win too, but the Colts should be winless. They should not be where they're at, 2-2. And Tennessee, I think, is a different breed of cat, and I think Tannehill's still better than Richardson. Richardson's a rookie playing with concussion protocol. He looked okay at times, but he looked not okay at other times. He holds the ball too long. I think Tannehill's a better quarterback. They got the better coach. And Derrick Henry, they started to use him a little bit more. He ran pretty good last week against a tough defense. I just don't think the Colts got that tough defense. I'll take my chance with Tennessee here. Next pick is the New York Giants at Miami Dolphins. Dolphins -11. I want to lay the chalk one more time. Underdog better, and I'm afraid to keep laying all these points, because every time I do, I seem to lose. But I did it last week. Got away with the 49ers. And that Ertz guy dropped a sure touchdown with a minute left. That would have lost me the game and covered the spread for the Cardinals. So I got a little lucky, so I'm going to try to get lucky again with Miami -11. They're pissed off that they got spanked in the second half by the Bills. And the Giants got some real problems. Not only did they look bad, the nail in the coffin, I'm on my lunch break at Monday Night Football, 14-3, Seattle. And the Giants finally get Daniel Jones running for first downs and looking pretty good. But he throws that ball, I think it was 2nd and goal, whatever it was. And the guy goes all the way back for the Seahawks. I just reach up there and I turn it to the guy. "Hey, the game's over." "No, it's not." So I turned it back when I walked out. And I went about my business. And I turned off the radio and had no contact with him. I said, "Well, what was the final score?" 28-3 or whatever it was. The Giants never scored again. So that was a nail in the coffin. The head coach, Brian Daboll, who I kind of liked and I thought he was going to be okay, he throws his quarterback, Daniel Jones, under the bus. That's not going to settle well with a team that's having a funk and had that spiral in the middle of the season last season. They know what they're up against Tyreek Hill and these guys on Miami with that team speed. I mean, if Seattle has no team speed and they run all over them, what do you think the Miami Dolphins are going to do at home and come off a loss? I just think that this is a good spot. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Dolphins didn't hang another 70 burger on somebody, and this might be it. So I'm taking the Dolphins. I mean, if I was in Vegas, I'd bet this game. Next one. This is a tough one. It's the New Orleans Saints coming into New England Patriots. Now, the New England Patriots got stomped. I mean, they look like high school kids trying to play the Eagles. I mean, it just would not work. New England lost their best. Matthew Judon is one of the top 5 pass rushers in the NFL. He's out till like mid-November with a biceps tear. I mean, I had a biceps tear, and I'm telling you, you don't want to do anything. You don't want to even write with your pen, with your hand. A biceps tear is horrible, and I hope nobody ever gets it. It's worse than what you think it is. So Judon is out. I think their second best pass defensive lineman is out as well. New England's starting to pile up some injuries, but the Saints got injuries too. And they got this, they're getting Kamara back, they're running back. Well, he didn't do squat against Tampa last week. And just like I said in the other video, I hope you go back and play this video to hold my feet to the fire. I asked you, I said, audience, what kind of shape is Kamara going to be? He's not known for working hard. And sure enough, he was out of gas in the first quarter. I mean, I was all over the Saints at first, so it was New England -2.5 when this thing opened up. But now it's New England -1. It's 45-55 money going back and forth. Mac Jones looked horrible. And I keep telling people, video after video, I should tell Bill Belichick's wife to put a gun to his head and make him watch my video as punishment. Not only watch a bad video, but to say, hey, look, you got to give up on Mac Jones. He's horrible. He had his 1-year rookie year where they had no tape on him. Now they know how to defend him. I mean, he's not effective anymore. And I like the kid, but they say he kicked the guy in the nuts and he did some other kind of strange things. He's not well liked on his own team. I don't even think Belichick likes him. Start over. Scratch the season. Look for your next Tom Brady. 'Cause that's what you're doing. You're trying to find the next Tom Brady. And I don't blame you. I would be too if I was you, Bill Belichick. But start someone else. Put the wide receiver who used to play quarterback in college. Put him in there. Do anything but that. When the Colts lost Johnny Unitas and Earl Morrall was their quarterbacks in the 1960s, they put John Maddy, he was the fullback, put in his first pass, he was a 21-yard completion. And the day they ran the ball all the time. So sometimes you got to do that. The Miami Dolphins had that Jim Jensen, the utility guys. He's kind of like what the guy for the Saints is now, the Taysom Hill. Well, Jensen was a great quarterback when they needed him. They started him when Dan Marino went down, Don Strock went down. When Jensen got the start, he won a game for him. So you got to do that, Bill Belichick, and you're supposed to know that. This Mac Jones, bench him, get him for trade bait next year, chalk it up as a loss. I mean, you got to cut your losses, Mr. Bill Belichick. Get rid of this Mac Jones, and I hope he's not starting this week. I mean, there's rumors that he's going to be benched permanently, but I'm going to take New England anyway. Dennis Allen on the other side for the Saints. He has no clue what he's doing. And I looked back at the draft, and he drafted a wide receiver that didn't even suit him up. Put someone on the taxi squad. Why would you do that? The Saints are in disarray. I mean, once Sean Payton left, there was no hope for that team. I'm taking New England one more time, -1. Just win the game, Patriots. Can you win the game? Okay, next game is Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers got spanked by these so-called Super Bowl contender Houston Texans. Well, yeah, that's good and true. But Pickett got hurt, I believe, in that game from what I've been reading about. And Trubisky's going to be playing. Well, Trubisky's an experienced quarterback. He's not as bad as you think he is. He's actually won some games. I like Trubisky's chances. Oh, no, on the other side of the field, the Ravens are hot. They dispatched the Cleveland Browns or Cleveland Clowns. If you look back at the history of these two teams, it's a bitter rivalry. In the last 10 games, 8 of them were decided by 3 points or less. This is a good thing. And I'm getting a team that Tomlin is pissed because we're going to be some changes. I've never seen Tomlin so mad. And they got spanked by these Texans. Was a 30-6 was a 5. They got 2 field goals. That was it. And Pittsburgh's a home underdog. And I know we don't bet home underdogs, but they've been covering the last couple of weeks. We're taking the Steelers +4, hoping for a close game. Next game, another one, a tough one. Cincinnati Bengals are at the Arizona Cardinals. I think in the early line of the summer line, I think this was a Bengals -8. Then it was Bengals -7. Then it was Bengals -5. Now it's Bengals -3. I know I bet against the Cardinals last week. Zach Ertz catches that ball 1 minute left in garbage time and catches that touchdown. They covered that game. They weren't going to beat the 49ers. They were so far ahead they couldn't catch them. But the 49ers put their second string in there too. Arizona should be 4-0 against the spread, but they're 3-1 with a little asterisk by that one loss. I like what I saw out of the Cardinals. I know I shouldn't say this on tape. I look like an idiot, sound like a fool. They're scrappy. They're not tanking. Whoever put that propaganda out should run for office and get into politics, because that propaganda was pretty good. Everybody thought that Arizona was tanking because they were so convincing. But you know what? They're not tanking. They're going to try to win, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing for us. It's a good thing for the handicappers. It's a good thing for the NFL. Good thing for pregame.com. It's a good thing. I'm taking Arizona +3. I think Cincinnati's in some serious trouble. Joe Burrow's probably actually getting close to being 100%, but he's not. I got him at 70%. But that 70% is still pretty good. But Arizona goes after the quarterback. They got some pressure on Brock Purdy. I know they sacked him at least once. So I'm looking for them to sack Burrow 3 or 4 or 5 times and take control of this game in front of the home crowd. They beat the Cowboys a couple weeks ago. How come they can't beat the Cincinnati Bengals? I mean, they're starting to believe in themselves. And when the team starts believing in themselves, they've turned the corner. I just like this Arizona +3. And it's probably a loser, but I'm going to take them anyway. Next game, Philadelphia Eagles at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams are a home pup getting 4.5. I let the guy talk me off the game on my card last week. I would have been 3-2 on the card if I'd have done what I was supposed to do. It's my fault for letting them talk me off of it. Yeah, well, Philadelphia knows Washington beat them last year at this spot. And I'm looking at my phone real quick, and I saw that Philadelphia just scored me to 27-20, so I was right. And Philadelphia came ready, but then they come back to the hotel, turn on the news while she's taking a shower, and the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Redskins in overtime. Well, overtime is automatic winner if you got the Washington 8. Okay, they can't lose by no more than 6. And Philadelphia kicked a 54-yard field goal, and I thought, damn, I let that guy talk me off that game, and that's my fault. And I stand by Philadelphia as a sneaky team. They got 2 different coordinators for those offensive defensive positions. I think that's why this shows what appears to be rust or tentativeness. The team gets close, they suck it up and they grind out those first downs. I'm telling you, this Philadelphia team is loaded, but I think the Rams are loaded too, and I'm looking for a close game. I think the Rams are going to get out in front. See, Philadelphia's been ahead every game this year by halftime, but except I think this game is going to be different. I think the Rams are going to go out in front. And if I was in Vegas, I'd watch the first half lines, and I would do things like that. And I'd put a dime on the Rams, depending on the kind of spot I would get and the kind of money line I would get. The Rams are going to do it. I think the Rams got a good chance for an upset, and I like the 4.5 points because Philadelphia, like I said, they're going to do just enough to win. They're not interested in hanging a 70 burger like the Dolphins did against the Broncos. That's not how Coach Sirianni does things. Next game, New York Jets are at the Denver Broncos. I know Broncos got off the schneid, but they got the win. But they had to come back against the Bears, who has no defense to do it. I got in my ranks, I got the Denver Broncos as number 32 defense in the NFL, and I got the Chicago Bears number 31. There was 2 0-3 teams that played last week, and I got them both right. So I had the Minnesota beating Carolina and covered the spread, and I had the Broncos. But when I checked, like I was checking on the cell phone, the Bears were beating them. I forgot by at least 2 touchdowns. I thought, shit, I lost that bet. And Sean Payton's going to go 0-4. When I got to the hotel room, I saw they won. The Jets looked pretty good, in my opinion, against Kansas City, who has an improved defense. But Kansas City's offense still clicking. And Travis Kelce did it again. The tight end is your go-to guy when the other guys are covered. Don Coryell, the San Diego Chargers back in the day. That Kellen Winslow, the tight end screen, most deadly play in the 1970s, 80s football with a tight end screen. And I'm telling you, that would get him a first down when he needed it. And I'm telling you, and Kellen Winslow to me is like Keenan Allen for the Chargers now, except Keenan Allen's not a tight end. He's a wide out, but still. I like what I saw from the Jets. And Zach Wilson, this is the best I've ever seen him look. Okay, but with 7 minutes to go, he went. It was behind. He gets out of the shotgun. He goes under center and he fumbles the ball. And Kansas City never gave him the ball back. They wound down the clock, and it was perfect. And Mahomes slid on the 2-yard line so the clock would run. Because they were going to score, and I'd lose by half a point. Because I was getting 9.5 points, and Kansas City was up by 3. I would have lost that game by half a point if Mahomes scored a touchdown. So I got a little lucky with the Jets game, but I like what I saw. The Jets were competitive. Solly rallied his team and sticking with Zach Wilson. Okay, stick with him then. I don't agree with it, but you're the coach. I'm a hack. I like the Jets getting a 1.5. Broncos are favored. They're home. I know Sean Payton got his win. Sean Payton is under siege. He's being besieged. He's getting punched from all directions. And when that happens to anybody in any endeavor, most people don't care that it's happening to that person. They don't understand they're already fighting a battle that they know nothing about. And I think Sean Payton's fighting some demons. Not within himself, but the circumstances. They got him out of retirement, and the Waltons probably invited him over, took him on a Learjet, and took him to skiing in Aspen and wherever all the Bronco brass goes for skiing and stuff in Colorado. I think Sean Payton realized, I might have made a mistake. He was making good money as an NBC analyst, wherever the broadcast he was on. He's probably thinking, that job wasn't so bad after all. It was. I just read a teleprompter and read some notes and say yes and kiss everybody's ass and it was easy money. I know they got Patrick Surtain All-Pro, but he's in the latter stage of his career. They're done. The only hope that they have to winning any games is getting Russell Wilson actually having a good year. Okay, but that plays into the Jets' defense. The Jets contain Kansas City. What do you think he's going to do to the Broncos? They're going to contain Russell Wilson. And you got to remember, the Jets, they had to play against Tua twice a year against Miami. They had to play Josh Allen twice a year, 3 times a year. They had to play Tom Brady every year. And so the Jets are used to playing good quarterbacks. So this Russell Wilson not scared of the Jets, I'm telling you. I just think this is all spelling disaster for the Broncos, and we're going to take advantage of it. We're taking a Jets plus 1.5. Next game, Chiefs at Minnesota Vikings. Vikings got off the schneid. They held off that rally against the Panthers. They covered the spread. They won their first game. And it was 4.5, now it's Chiefs minus 4. The Chiefs still look good. I don't know why this line is 4. Is the odds maker trying to tell us that Vikings are going to put up a good fight? They got a dynamic. It's really hard to stop. Kirk Cousins, that Justin Jefferson guy, that receiver. I mean, he's arguably top 5 receiver. I mean, he's just a touchdown machine. I mean, this guy is uncoverable. As long as Cousins has got him in the game, they can score. And if they can score, they can win. Now, Chiefs' defense is vastly improved, like I keep saying on every video, and everybody agrees with that. But the Vikings have no defense. They know they don't have a defense. So it's going to be a shootout. There's 4 points. We're going to take the Minnesota plus 4 points and hope for the best. Next game. I think they should take this game off the board. And you just watch this game for fun. It's the Dallas Cowboys are at San Francisco 49ers. Well, right now it's 75-25 money coming on the 49ers. It was worse when this thing first came out. It was 85-15. Now there's some money coming in on the Cowboys, which I'm watching. The 49ers are the top-ranked team. They're great. They're doing all the right things. Brock Purdy looking pretty good. They got him as a game manager. They don't put him in situations where he's got to do a whole lot. I get it. I understand it. It's probably a good thing. The Dallas Cowboys, they've been bumped out of the playoffs last 2 out of 4 years by the San Francisco 49ers. They don't remember that. And they're playing on grass, which hurts the Cowboys, but you know what? Don't hurt them that much. Okay, they grew up on playing on grass. They're all professional players. They're all used to playing on turf. They're all used to playing on grass. It doesn't matter. They'll shift their body, their ankle. They'll shift what they got to do to get the job done. I'm taking the Cowboys for 3.5. I'm hoping, well, number one, they got 3 things can happen. This is the Mark Lawrence handicapping from 40 years ago. 3 things can happen when you bet on an NFL game. 2 of them are good. You know, they can win the game outright as underdog, and they can cover the points if they lose the game. The third thing is not good. They just get blown out, or they can't cover the spread. 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are good. So 2 out of 3, I'm taking the Cowboys and the points. I don't care if the 49ers beat them in overtime by a field goal, if it ends in a tie. I don't care. I'm just looking for a win. But I think the Cowboys have a chance to win the game straight up. And if I was in Vegas, I'd watch the boards when the money lines was creeping up. I'd put a sprinkle on the Cowboys. I think Dak Prescott's got something to prove. The Cowboys, and Mike McCarthy's a better coach than people think he is. I think he's a better coach than Dunderhead on the 49ers. I'm taking the Cowboys. And then the last game, Monday night, it's the Green Bay Packers are at the Los Angeles Raiders. The first 3 people I asked and talked about this game, did a text with one guy, my friend in Port Hueneme. He's retired now. He's all over the Raiders. What I've been reading about, that there's some dissension in the Raiders' rank. They're not unhappy with this Josh Allen. He's making worse moves than Dennis Allen for the Saints. And he's not playing the players that they spent good money on him, making these horrible substitutions. And they put this rookie in there, and he actually did okay. They got no tape on him. But you know what? They made some questionable calls. I mean, I know I had the Raiders plus 5.5. I'm not bitter I lost the game. I should have known better than to take the Raiders like this. But Josh McDaniels, they cut Chandler Jones. They couldn't work out the agreement, and there was a 5-minute phone call between Chandler Jones and Josh McDaniels, and the word I got was that Josh McDaniels didn't want to cut the guy any slack, didn't want to hear what he had to say, and the other guy winds up cussing him out. Josh McDaniels, he thinks he's Bill Belichick. Okay, he's not Bill Belichick, and this is what happened to him in Denver. Okay, go back 15 years, whatever it was we had the Broncos. Jumped out to 6-0, start that easy schedule in the NFL, and they're 6-0. Yeah, I did this. And then the lineman looked at him and what about us? He disrespects his team. 2-6 the rest of the way to finish 8-8, and the Broncos got so angry they fired him. So I'm telling you, he hasn't changed in 15 years. I can't believe the Raiders took him, but you know what? That's the Raiders. Since Al Davis died, they've been in disarray. When Al Davis started getting Alzheimer's, they started getting disarray back then. That thing with Lane McKiffin, that was very bizarre. Lane McKiffin, they had the guy, Janikowski, tried a 76-yard field goal. So my memory for the NFL goes back decades. So if it's not part of the script, if it pops in, forgive me. But the Raiders are just, they're not committed to winning. I'm not sure what they're really trying to do. But the Green Bay Packers, they're committed to winning. They're not happy what happened last year. They got their own steps. They step in their own way as well, running Aaron Rodgers out of town. Oh, well, we got this Jordan Love guy getting for 1/3 of the price, and I'm sure other factors come in with the Green Bay Packers. But the nucleus of the team is still there. I know they got stomped by Detroit in Thursday Night Football last week. That might be another wake-up call. The Packers are 2-2. They're still in the thick of things. Raiders are 1-3, and the Raiders stole that win at Denver. They had no business winning that game, but they did. They won, so I don't want to take any credit away from a team that's really trying. And their defense looks good at times. They do got a couple of defensive beasts on the defensive line. Crosby's one of them. But I just think Green Bay knows how to play this team, and I just think Matt LaFleur's a better coach. I just think he's going to outcoach them. And Josh McDaniels is apparently not hard to outcoach. And Bill Belichick was nice. It was good enough to take him back when the Broncos got rid of his ass, because he is a good offensive coordinator. Okay, listen. Instead of bashing, I don't want you to think I'm bashing other people just to bash them. Let's just use me for an example, okay? I do stock options for my personal account, okay? And I've just had 3 wins in a row with stock option trading. So now, company XYZ from New York City, they're the great-grandsons of Robert Barons, the financiers. Hey, Mr. Remington, you did a stock trade with Lumen Technology. You did this, you did IBM and Oxy. Okay, we're going to hire you. We'll give you $100,000 a year. See what you can do. Here's your fund money. The FUND. It's not your money, but trade like it's yours. and we'll give you a percentage of what you can win. Well, if the first 5 trades I lose, well, apparently I can't do the job. So I'm better with back in my own home, and I can just get up when I want. If I miss a day, I miss a day. But I'm working for somebody in their place, their rules, 5 days a week. I gotta get up crack of dawn instead of getting up like 10 like I do now. I gotta work swing shift. I gotta do their rules, and I can't adjust for whatever reason. They're gonna fire me, and deservedly so. I would deserve to be fired. I'm good at the other format where I can miss a day or two. I don't have to watch, make reports. I didn't do this team, this stock because of this. They monitor my progress. Okay, no one's monitoring me in my house, just my wife. I mean, if she sees, I think, we lost $2,000. What happened? Then I got to explain it to her, and I explain why what I did. She'll accept it. These people at these fund managers in New York City or wherever the hell they're at, they're not going to understand. Well, I didn't like this Sun Energy stock in Paris, Texas, because the lady looked crazy. They're not going to understand that. Okay, they're going to fire me. It's the same thing with Josh McDaniels. He's not good at a different format. He's good as offensive coordinator with Bill Belichick on his ass morning, noon, and night. He functions well that way. Tom Brady is in his face all the time. He functions like that because Josh McDaniels had no power to fight back. Here, he's the head coach. He's yelling at Chandler Jones, yelling at the coordinators, cussing people, cussing the fans. He's doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah, he's not nice to the fans. He thinks he's little Napoleon. He thinks he's Bill Belichick. He's not. And that trickles down. I know you guys will think I'm full of crap. I'm not. It trickles down through some of the players on the team. But we don't know which players they are, but it shows on the field. So I'm taking Green Bay Packers. I'm taking the United team. Embarrassed on Thursday Night Football. They got spanked by their rival Detroit, and they're going to take it out on the Raiders. And they're only giving them a point? I mean, what's wrong with this line here? To me, this is a gift. So now let's go over to entries for the cards. Entry number 1. 5 teams. We're taking Jacksonville +5, Tennessee Titans -1, Miami -11, Pittsburgh Steelers +4, and Arizona Cardinals +3. That's ticket number 1, entry number 1. Entry number 2, we're taking the New England Patriots -1, Los Angeles Rams +4.5, the New York Jets +1.5, Dallas Cowboys +3.5, and Green Bay -1. Survivor picks. I'll put it in the comments below. I haven't done my Survivor yet, but I made a mistake last week, and I got lucky. On my video, it says I took X team, one team, and then the second team was Minnesota. Well, guess what? The person who handles the Survivor pool for me put Kansas City. I didn't want to use Kansas City in this spot. I thought the Jets might win this game. I put them on my pool. I put them on my ticket. I told people, I picked them on the pregame.com when you make your picks for monitoring. I mean, I was all over the Jets. I was all over them. And I thought, my God. I didn't want to call the guy and get argued with him, and you didn't turn your picks in on time or whatever. But I did turn them in on time. I was a little late, but I was probably the last one to turn them in. And a lot of people took Kansas City last week, and I think he just got me mixed up with a bunch of people at the very end. He was in a hurry too. I wanted to use Minnesota in that spot. Now I'm afraid to use Minnesota, but that's okay. So I'm working on Survivor pool, and I'll do that when I'm done with the videos. So I can't do the Survivor. Teasers. Lost my teaser again last week. The Rams, +7, easy win. I lost with the Giants, it was +7. Week 1, 4 different bets, and I won them all. We're up $400 of unit money. The second week, lost a teaser, lost 120, gave it back, and we're +280. Week number 3, lost down 120. Now we're only up 160. Last week, it was a 7-point teaser, minus 130 juice, $1.30 juice. So now we're only up 30 for the entire year. But that week 1 with the 4 big winners, I coasted off of that during my downswing because I've told people on the videos, when you don't really feel it, you can't force it. And I wasn't really feeling it, and I'm still not really feeling it, so I'm only going to do one more teaser. And I'm going to make it a 7-point teaser. It's for mathematics. I was going to do a 6-point teaser for minus $1.20, but I'm going to do 7 points, it's $1.30. The one teaser I have, and it's a 7-point teaser, $1.30 juice. We're taking the New York Jets +8.5, Green Bay +6. I can see the Raiders actually upsetting them, but I can't see them stomping Green Bay like Detroit did. I think the Raiders' defense is terrible. Detroit's got a defense, and they know Green Bay. The Raiders are in disarray, and I just think that Green Bay is going to bounce back. And I got the Green Bay to win games straight. If I was a bank, I'd be betting Green Bay. If I'm putting Green Bay on my round robin parlays that I have not talked about yet. The coaching is so important in the NFL than any other sport. Long live the NFL. Enjoy the NFL. Thank you. See you next time. Thank you.